All right. So for today's class, my plan is to ultimately get into a pose called Parivrita Janushirshasana, which sounds really complicated. It's just a long name. It's a seated pose with a side bend and a twist. And it'll take a fair amount of prep to get there. So let's go ahead and start with some circles. Suppose I don't do that often. I have really tight inner thighs. So we'll stretch them out and see if that helps. Let's go the other way. Also, just an announcement. There is now once a month going to be a community acupuncture here in the building. So if anybody wants to participate, it's happening today and then in a month. Let's come back to center. Stretch your arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers and press up through your palms. Yeah, big reach up. And then go to the right. Come up and then go to the left. And then we'll go to the right again, but undo your arms this time. Bring the right arm to the floor. Go as far over as you like, and you might notice the further you go, the more there's a tendency to kind of turn towards the floor. See if you can turn your chest more towards the ceiling. And then we'll come up on an inhale and over on an exhale, other side. And again, you choose how far you're going to go. And once you've found a good spot, find a little rotation more towards the ceiling. And the two sides might be really different. For me, they usually are. Let's come back up to the center here. Circle out your wrists. And then let's change the way the legs are crossed for my friends who are in the cross-legged position, your second favorite way. And then we'll settle here. You can close your eyes if you like. And just give yourself a moment here. Yeah. As you take the next few breaths, notice how the body responds to your breath, where you feel movement. See if you can let go of any grippiness around your face, your forehead, your eyes, your eyebrows. And the next time the exhale comes, bow your head down, round your back, blink your eyes open. And then on the inhale, slide your chest forward and up. And let's take a couple more of those. Exhale, roll back. If you want to go quite a bit, you're welcome to. You can somewhat exaggerate the movement. You're also welcome to keep it small. Good. And the next time we come back to center, let's stay. Take one more big reach up through the arms. And as you release the arms down, let's release the legs out in front of you and make some circles with your ankles. You might even be able to hear my ankles crackling. Go the other direction. Yeah. Okay. So let's come to our all fours position, hands and knees. I'm going to slide this over here. And we'll start to move through our cat-cows, but for today, let's initiate the movement with a little bit of abdominal activation. So take a breath in. And as you exhale, slowly draw in and up through the low belly and let that be the transition that starts moving you into cat pose. On the inhale, let that go and return more to neutral. So let's do that a few more times. Exhale, find a little lift as you roll up. And inhale, undo. Let's go 2 more times like that. Yeah. And then after this next one here, go back to child's pose. Feel free to go wider in the knees if that's more comfortable. Keep your arms out in front and go onto your fingertips and give the mat a little grip with the fingers. And then from here, start to crawl your arms just a little bit over to the right. So if you're in the middle of a big clock, it's about 1 o'clock, and you can set the palms of the hands down. From here, lift the right ribs away from the floor and see if you can draw the left ribs. You don't really go anywhere, but think of them pulling slightly to the left. So the right ribs towards the ceiling and the left ribs to the left. Yeah. Take a breath into your left side. And then we'll undo, go over to the second side. So about 11 o'clock here. And then once you're in position, lift your left ribs towards the ceiling and draw the right ribs away from the spine. Yeah. Keep that idea and take a big breath into the right side of the body. Okay, let's come back to center here, and then we'll set up for downward facing dog pose. Go ahead and just get there and take any kind of movement you want for the first round of dogs. Yeah, for me, everything's making a little noise today. All right, and then we'll stay in the position. Bend your knees a little bit, and without moving your hands, try to push the mat down and forward. Make your torso a little longer. Now, before we straighten the legs, root down through the ball of the big toe, and that'll make the knees pull in a little bit. Counter that by widening through the upper thighs. And then very slowly, as you start to re-lengthen the legs, think of straightening the outer knee before the inner knee. And it's okay if the legs don't go straight at all. Maybe just a little bit. Yeah. And then from here, widen your stance. Bend both knees, walk your arms to your legs, and prop your forearms up on your thighs. Move your hands, wrists, fingers a little bit. Take a bit of a wobble from side to side. And then pause here. Let's turn your chest open to the right. Lift up through the arm. And down we go. Second side, open up. And lower down. Press into both heels. Inhale, come all the way up. Lift your arms. And exhale, release your arms. Yeah. All right. So let's head to the front of the mat. I'm going to have us take a warrior two, a lunge to warrior two. And part of it's just to check the warrior two. We'll do a few things and then we'll recheck and see if the things helped our warrior two. So come stand at the front in your mountain pose. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, take it down, forward fold. Inhale, move your chest forward. And then as you exhale, lower down, let's step the left leg back, lunge pose. Stay in the position and pull your chest forward. Try to take the rounding out of the back. And then we'll lower the back heel to the floor. Come up into warrior two, and we'll just settle in the position. Think of making length from the inner groin to the inner knee, but then from the outer knee to the outer hip, drawing back in. Yeah, we'll just hold, check it out, see how it feels. All right, and then windmill the arms down to the floor, lift your back heel, step the back leg forward, take one half lift. On the way down, go back with the right leg, same thing. Slide the chest forward, lower your back heel to the floor, and come up to warrior two. Once you're there, settle in the position. From the inner groin to the inner knee, draw forward, but then from the outer knee to the outer hip, draw back in. Right, and that's that. Release your arms. Lift the back heel, and now this time let's go to downward facing dog pose. And use that to transition to all fours, hands and knees. Lower the knees down. Now from here, once you're in position, let's broaden the collarbones. Lift a little through the abdomen, and without swinging your hips to the side, lift the left knee out to the side. and then bring it back down. Yeah, let's do just 2 more of those. There's a tendency for the pelvis to want to shift right. Try your best not to do that. And the next time the knee is out wide, hold. Stretch the leg to straight, put the foot down on the floor, and let's take a few cat-cows with this wide left leg position. Yeah. So this time with the legs like this, you might get more of a stretch on the inner thigh. Great, we'll pause here. Tuck the right toes under and then shift back. You choose how far you want to go. It's fine to bend the elbows too. And you can either stay here and hold the position, or if you wanted to shift back and forth for a couple rounds, you can do that instead. Yeah, great. All right. And we're going to do a few more things. And I should have said this earlier. If you need padding for the bottom knee, you could either fold your mat over or stick a little blanket or something underneath. Let's pause, shift forward, and then come upright so your hands are on your hips. I'm going to turn around just to face you guys. And now in this position, let's pivot. Lift the toes on the left foot, and then bend the knee, lunge over to the side. It's like Parigasana. And then come back up, de-rotate. Do that a few more times. We rotate, we bend, we come up, and we lower down. Let's do 2 more times. And the next time we hinge over, we'll stay in that position. Yeah. So from here, take your left arm, reach it out long, and then lower the forearm down onto the thigh. Take your right hand across the belly and spin. Turn open and stretch the right arm just out. Okay. Anybody getting this stretch on the left inner thigh? Good. All right, let's come back to center. Release your arms, reset the leg. Do a couple cat-cows here just in the center to reset your midline. We'll take a little deep detour before the second side. Let's go back to child's pose. You can either have flat toes or tucked toes, whatever you want. Walk your hands out a little further forward. Press down into the mat, and at first, round the back up, coming through cat pose. Undo your toes, slide the chest forward, bend your elbows, and ease your way down onto the belly. And then from here, lift your chest just a little bit and roll your shoulders one and the other, little slither asana. Pam, I forgot to ask if your friend has done yoga before. Some of my stuff is made up, like the slithers and the circles and stuff. All right, let's pause here. Lift the front of the chest away from the floor and point your elbows towards the back of the mat. And then just a teensy little bit, lift the hands. Yeah. All right. Set your hands down. Go back for a brief down dog or child's pose, just to stretch out the other direction. Yeah. And then let's come forward and down, lower your knees. Broaden your collarbones, lift the lower abdomen, and then from here, we'll pick up the right knee, take it out to the side, and then bring it back to center. Do that a few more times without swinging the pelvis to the left. Even if you don't go very high, that's totally fine. Yeah. Next time we take the knee wide, stay, kick the leg straight, step the foot on the floor, and now do cat-cow in this position. This is my tighter side by a lot. Yeah. All right, and then pause here. Tuck your left toes under and shift back. You decide how far you're gonna go. You can also decide if you're holding the position or if you're going back and forth a few times. Yeah, maybe you bend the elbows when you come back. All right, let's come into the forward position here and then bring yourself upright with the hands on the hips and spin around. All right, so here we go. On the straight leg, let's pivot, lift the heel, go onto the heel, bend and shift. And then come back up and back to center. Do that a few times, nice and slow with it. Now, as we bend the knee, and also in Warrior Two, don't let the knee drop in. Think of reaching the inner knee straight out towards the back of the mat or the front of the mat, front of the room, wherever you are. It's the side of the room. Good. All right, guys, on the next one, we'll stay. And from here, stretch long at first through the right arm. Bring the forearm onto the thigh. Take the left hand across, spin, and then open. Variation on Parigasana, which is also called gate pose. All right, that's enough. Let's come back to center. Release down. And then from here, we'll go to down dog. And let's take this one with a wider stance. So bring your feet about mat's width distance apart. Bend your knees. Push the mat down and forward. Send your hips up and back and widen at the upper thighs. Counter that by rooting down through the ball of the big toe. And just like last time, as you start to straighten out the legs, think of lengthening the outer knee before the inner knee. Let it go a little faster. Yeah, great. And then from here, we'll keep the wide stance. Bend the knees again, walk your arms back, lower your heels. This time we'll come straight up. Inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, lower your arms. Yeah. So let's stay at the back of the mat. And earlier, I think we did some hula hoops. Let's bend the knees and do a standing slither asana. Just move around in a way that feels good to you. Yeah. All right. And then from here, we're going to check out our Warrior Two again, and then we'll add on some other stuff. So let's head to the front of the mat. Blocks if you need them. Root down through your feet. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, down we go. Inhale, slide your chest forward. Exhale, come down and step your left leg back. Start in the lunge. And before we come up, move your chest forward. Turn the back heel down to the floor and come up into your Warrior Two. Yeah. So for me, it feels a little easier to kind of sit deeper into the pose. You might notice a difference too. Same instruction as before. From the inner groin to the inner knee, reach out. But then from the outer knee to the outer hip, plug in. Let's take your back hand to the hip, come forward, and bring your forearm onto the thigh like we did in gate pose. Then take your back hand, reach underneath, spin, turn, and lift your left arm. Yeah. Press into the back heel and use that as an anchor to take this top arm overhead towards the front of the mat. And then once again, turn your chest towards the ceiling. Yeah. All right. Look at the floor. Release the arm, lift the back heel, reset, lunge pose. Step your back leg forward. Let's take a half lift in between sides. And then lower down, step the right leg back, side two. Shift your chest forward, bring the back heel down. Take your time to head into Warrior Two. And at first, just check it out. Notice this side, inner groin to inner knee, draw forward. Outer knee to outer hip, plug in. Bring your back hand to the hip, come forward before you come down. Land your forearm on the thigh, and then let's do that spin, turn. Lift the right arm at first just to the ceiling, and plant the back heel down. Keep that as the anchor as you now take the top arm overhead. And one more time, turn your chest towards the ceiling. On this front leg, when we turn to the ceiling, the knee will want to knock in. Try not to let it. Keep the inner knee reaching forward. Good. All right, look down at the floor, release. Lift the back heel a step forward. Take one half lift. We're coming back to side one. Down we go. Step the left leg back. Find your lunge. Pull the chest forward. Turn the back heel down. Up we come to Warrior Two. Now from here, bring the back hand to the hip. Make the front leg go about halfway from here to a straight leg. So it's just a little bit bent. And then reach forward again. Now, in this position, at first, press down through the ball of the big toe, and then see if you can widen the right thigh a little towards the right side of the mat. Keep that as you start to lengthen the leg. Think of plugging the thigh bone into the pelvis. Stretch long through the right arm and lower down your hand either to the shin or to your block. Press into the back heel. Let's do that belly spin. Turn and open up through the left arm. Trikonasana pose. Yeah. All right, this one too, I think will improve a little bit after the next little set. So let's look down, bend the front knee, release your arm, lift the back heel, step forward, take one half lift, lower down, bring the right leg back, slide your chest forward, turn the back heel to the floor, bring yourself up into warrior two pose. Yeah. Bring the back hand to the hip, take the front leg about halfway to straight, and then from here, press into the back heel as you hinge forward. Forgot this little part. Root down the ball of the big toe, but at the same time, think of widening the left thigh a little towards the left side of the mat. Keep that idea as you start to go straighter in the leg. Lower your hand down onto something. Spin the belly to the right. Lift the right arm up. Plant the back heel. Yeah. Trikonasana. Okay. Look at the floor. Bend the front knee. Release the arm. Lift the back heel. Let's go back to down dog. Now after those, your down dog too might feel a little different. Okay. Let's bend your knees. Put them down onto the floor. Go to child's pose. Feel free to go wide in the knees if that's more comfortable. Now earlier we did a side bend. We're going to do another one. It's a little deeper. If it's too deep, go back to the previous one we did. Let's keep the left hand in place. Take the right arm straight out to the side, so it's like 3 o'clock. And now start to crawl the left arm towards the right until you find a capacity that works for you. Yeah. Now in this position, lift the right ribs towards the ceiling and think of moving the left ribs to the left. Take a breath into your left side. Yeah. And then walk the left arm forward. Take the right arm forward. Keep the right hand in place. Left arm wide like 9 o'clock. Start to creepy crawl the right arm towards the left to an extent that works for you. Then, once you're in position here, lift the left ribs and slide the right ribs towards the right. Take a breath into the right side. Good. Okay, let's come back to center. And then bring yourself upright, and we'll actually come down to your back in a moment. So have your strap handy, and if you don't have a strap, I'll say what to do instead. So we'll take a couple variations of Supta Padangusthasana here. I think let's do 2 different ones. So at first, come down onto your back, and let's do the left side first. Put the strap over your left foot and send the leg up and keep the right knee bent. If you don't have a strap today and you're able to hold the big toe, you could do it that way, or you could hold your hands behind the thigh. That works too. So from here, bend the lifted leg just a little bit. And as you re-lengthen the leg, push the foot into the strap, but in your hip joint, press the ball into the socket. Yeah. And then from here, the strap friends, you'll move the strap into your left hand. Take the left leg to the left and the right knee to the right, and try to be as level as you can across the back of the pelvis. Again, if you don't have the strap, you can just kind of hold your leg like this. So on this straight leg, now think of the length from the inner groin to the inner heel, and then from the outer heel to the outer hip, plug back in. Yeah, you can stay here, or if you want a little bit more, pick up the bent knee, the right knee, and hold on to it with your right hand. And that just increases the stretch a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So let's tone the abdomen. Use that to bring your legs back up. And then we'll do just that on side 2. So redo your legs, right leg up, left foot on the floor. And then bend the knee for a moment, and as you re-lengthen the leg, push the foot up into the strap and press the ball into the socket. Yeah, great. Then from here, move the straps into your right hand. Take the right leg to the right, the left knee to the left. Go as evenly as you can on the two sides. Yeah. And then once you're in position here, if you'd like to pick up the left leg, you can. On this long, the straight leg, from the inner groin to the inner heel, reach out, but then the outer heel to the outer hip, plug back in. Yeah. Okay. Create some tone in the abdomen. Use that to bring yourself back to center. And then we'll go back to side one again. So put the left leg up there. This time, if you're able to have the right leg long on the floor, do that now. Reach the right heel down away from you, but at the same time, see if you can pull the right hip towards you. Nice. Now in this left side, we want to go for external rotation, but don't go super max capacity, just a little bit. So rotate your left leg in the hip socket. The toes will turn out and the heel will turn in. And then from here, start to bring the left leg to the left, but only go as far as you can go with the right hip staying down. The right hip will want to leave the floor. Yeah, so we'll stay here. We've got some rotation now going on in this left leg. Inner groin to inner heel, reach it out. Outer heel to outer hip, plug it in. Stay in the position and slide your right leg 6 inches to the right, so you're a little bit wider. And then we'll just hang out here for a moment. Sometimes we reach max capacity, for example, in this left leg, but then we can actually increase our pose by moving the right leg. So let's see if it works. Slide the right leg back where you had it and see if that maybe gives you a little more room to take the left leg. Don't force it, but see what happens. Yeah. Now last thing here, take your right hand to the left side of the belly and spin your abdomen towards the right, and then reach the right arm out wide. Yeah. Keep the tone in the abdomen and start to bring the leg back up to the center. And then we'll change slides last time here. Put the right leg up and the left leg long. Pay attention to this left leg as you reach the heel away from you. Try to pull the left hip towards you. And then from here in this right leg, let's externally rotate. Turn the toes out, the heel in. Tone your abdomen and take the leg out to the right, only so far as you can go without the left pelvis lifting up. Yeah. Inner groin to inner heel, reach it out. Outer heel to outer hip, plug it in. And then slide your left leg, the bottom leg, about 6 inches to the left. So you're a little bit wider in your stance. Yeah. This position here is very similar to triangle pose. All right, slide the left leg back in, back where you had it, and see if maybe you have just a little extra room now on this right side. Good. All right, let's come back to center. Well done. Release your leg. And then let's do mountain pose on your back. Stretch both legs out long. Reach out through your heels. Make the leg strong and active. Roll the inner groins towards the floor. Tone your abdomen. Take your arms right in front of your chest. Straight arms, strong arms. And slowly start to bring your arms back without letting the ribs pop up. Yeah. Great. Now from here, hold the position. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, don't really do it, but imagine you wanted to lift the legs off the floor. Yeah, just to tone the abdomen a little more. All right, and then relax, release. You can wiggle out your legs for a second. And then from here, we're going to roll over onto one side. Just pick the side that's easiest for you to see. And at first, we'll do a little bit of a, oh, I'm sorry. My block was on the computer. We'll do a little bit of a shoulder stretch. So this arm that's on the bottom, go on your fingertips and then creepy crawl the fingers out away from you to minimize the distance between the outer shoulder and the floor. And then set the arm down, bend your elbow and prop up your head. Now on the bottom leg, reach the heel out away from you and press down through the pinky side of the foot and keep that the whole time. Take the top hand down in front and press it down. Lift the top leg a little, bend your knee, and at first, move the knee towards the floor, slide up towards your head, and then make this big, slow, controlled circle. Let's do a few times in one direction. And when I say controlled, I mean use your core, your abdomen, the bottom leg to create stability through the rest of the body as this lifted leg is moving. Now let's pause with the knee facing up. Flex your foot and slowly start to reach up through your heel, especially the inner heel, as you go for a straighter leg. And then re-bend and do it 2 more times like that. Reach up and re-bend. And then reach up and stay. Now this hand that's in front of you, you'll use that to press down, tone the abdomen more, and then maybe lift the base leg just a teensy bit. Yeah, it's obliques, huh? And then set the base leg down, re-bend the top leg, release it down, and then undo your arm. We're just gonna roll over onto the second side. I'll have my back to you, but it'll be the same thing. So creepy crawl the new arm forward, forward, forward until you can minimize the distance between the outer shoulder and the floor. Bend your elbow and hold up your head. Press the base leg down, press the top arm down, and then lift the top leg a little. Bend your knee, and let's circularize the leg. Control the movement by using the rest of the body. So the bottom leg, the abdominals, the arm, the stabilizing arm. This side doesn't want to go as well for me. Next time the knee points up, we'll stay. Start to reach up through the heel, the inner heel, as you lengthen the leg. This pose is called Anatasana. And then bend. And do it again 2 more times. Yeah. Next time we lift the leg up, stay. Press with the front arm. Tone your abdomen. Hover the bottom leg, or just imagine that you wanted to hover the bottom leg. Yeah. Set it down. Re-bend. Release. We're going to side one again, but let's take a little detour on the belly first. Fold your hands, rest your forehead, bend your knees, and just give the legs a little swish or circle or any other movement that would appeal to you here. Yeah. Okie dokie. Let's put the legs down and then go back to side one. Same thing, creepy crawl the arm, bend the elbows, support your head, firm up the bottom leg. Now earlier we did the circles going one direction. Let's go the other direction. So start kind of like the tree pose and then come forward and down and around and do that direction a few times. This is my second favorite way to go. Yeah. Nice. Next time the knee points up towards the ceiling, stay. Now, you could do what we did before, or if you want a little extra challenge, either hold on to the big toe or hold on to the outside of the foot. The outside of the foot's a little harder than the big toe. Then lift the foot, but don't go for a straight leg quite yet. So here we are in a pose that's kind of like side angle. On this lifted leg, wrap the outer hip down, externally rotate towards the bottom foot, and then start to re-lengthen the leg. Reach the inner leg long and find that kind of plug in the outer leg. Yeah. Anantasana pose. It's also called couch pose. And that always reminds me of snacks for some reason. Next time we can bring snacks. All right, re-bend the knee. Release the foot. Down we come. Back to side two. This will be our last side here. So creepy crawl the bottom arm out long. Find that outer shoulder stretch. Bend your elbow. Support with the hand. And then lift the leg. Let's start in the tree pose. Come up, forward, down, and around. So find a few of these circles here. Use the bottom leg for stability. Next time the knee points up, we'll stay. And then from here, if you're going for the hold, take that now and lift a little bit, keeping the knee bent. Externally rotate this top leg. Keep that and don't let go of your hold, even if that means you don't go straight as you go towards straight, think of lengthening the inner leg, inner groin to inner heel. Yeah, this side's way harder for me. Okay, and then enough is enough. Rebend, release, down to the belly we come. Let's take another little, just wiggly, whatever you want to do for a sec. And then we'll go back to down dog. And when we do, let's go for a wider leg position. So, yeah. Now, same instructions as before. Bend your knees, push the mat down and forward, root down through the ball of the big toe, and keep that as you widen the upper thighs. And as you re-lengthen the legs, stretch the outer knee long before the inner knee. Yeah. A-okay if either the inner or the outer knee stays a little bent. And then to get out of this, let's reset the feet so they come in a little bit. Move yourself to the front of the mat, feet towards your hands. Take one half lift. Lower down, bend your knees, press into your heels. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower your arms. Okay, let's take a little hula hoop for a second. Adjust your clothes. The other way. Yeah, so we've already done a bunch of warrior twos. We'll take warrior two to get to triangle again. We'll recheck our triangle after doing some of this other stuff. And then we'll add on to the triangle, making it a little bit deeper. Yeah? All right. So here we come, front of the mat. Blocks I'll suggest have blocks if you've got them. If not, I'll tell you what to do. Now, from your mountain pose, you know the drill. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lengthen. As we exhale, we'll step the left leg back first, coming to lunge. Pull your chest forward, lower your back heel, and then make your way up into warrior two. Oh yeah, warrior two is like so easy now, isn't it? Now from here, take the back hand to the hip, just like before, go about halfway straighter in the front leg and reach long through the right arm. As you're in position here, find the external rotation in the front thigh. Keep that, root down through the ball of the big toe and start to go for a straighter leg. Lower your hand down. If you have a block, go to the block. If not, go onto your shin. Then, from here, let's take the other hand, spin towards the ceiling, lift up through your left arm, press down a lot through the left heel. Check out your triangle pose now. If you're adding on, take the top arm overhead like we did in side angle, and then bend the bottom elbow and turn your chest towards the ceiling. Yeah, this might be enough. If you've got a little more in you, you can wiggle the block forward. One more time, bend the elbow. The more you bend the elbow, the more the chest will want to go to the floor. Turn towards the ceiling. Yeah, stay anchored through the back leg heel. Breathe. It's deep. It's deep. Let's look down. Bend the front knee, release the arm, step the back leg forward. Take a half lift in between sides. Lower down, step the right leg back, lunge, and then move your chest forward. Lower your back heel to the floor. Warrior two pose. Take your back hand to the hip, go halfway towards straight in the front leg, and come forward. Find the external rotation, but also press into the ball of the big toe. Then from here, as you start to go straighter in the leg, release your hand down onto something. Take the free hand, spin from left to the right, lift up, press down through the back heel. Check it out your triangle. You can stay put or you can take the top arm overhead like side angle pose. Maybe this is enough. Maybe you bend the bottom arm. If you've done that, once again, turn the chest towards the ceiling. Yeah. If you've got a little more in you, you can wiggle the arm forward, the left arm forward. And then one more time, bend the arm, turn the chest towards the ceiling. Stay anchored through the back leg and keep this top arm really focused, really strong. Yeah. All right, that's enough. Look at the floor. Bend the front knee, lift the back heel. Let's go to down dog this time. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a little internal rotation. Turn the toes in and the heels out. Bend the knees, press the mat down and forward through your hands. Even though we're in a weird position with the legs, still root down the ball of the big toe, widen the upper thighs. Yeah. All right, reset your legs. Come back down into child's pose. Stay there, turn your palms to face up, curl the fingers in and out, give yourself a little wiggle. Okay. Now we're gonna come up and sit in Upavijta Konasana, which is totally not a crowd pleaser. If you need to sit on something, you can fold a blanket and put it underneath your hips. And let me show you the pose. So it's a wide-legged seated position. And don't, if you're pretty tight in here, don't feel that you have to go super duper far. Go in a position that you can maintain. Yeah. And if you're on a hard floor, you can adjust your mat so that sometimes the heels on the floor doesn't feel good. All right. Once you're settled somewhat, take your hands behind you. Press down to sit up. Yeah. Now, just like what we were working on before, think of length from the inner groin to the inner heel. And I'm not going to have us plug in so much in this position, but we will in the next one. If you think you've got a little more stretch in you, listen first before we go. I'll show you. We're going to dig the heels, point the toes, lift the hips, slide forward, and then come down and reset. Yeah, so I'll say that again. If you want to try it, dig the heels, point your toes, press into the floor, lift the hips, slide the pelvis forward and down. And when I say forward, it's like a millimeter. Yeah, and then reach the heels out. Stay. Yeah. I've been working on this since like December, and it's really improved a lot. I know, but I wasn't before. I was not even close to this a couple months ago. So it really, if you do it regularly, it does work. If you want to go one more, great. If not, don't worry. Press into the heels, point the toes, up we come, and down. And then reflex. All right. Yeah. Now to get out of this, hopefully you're not stuck. Hold your hands behind the thighs and use the hands to kind of bend up the knees. Come forward for a sec, and then clutch around your legs. Press the legs into the arms into the legs, and just sit up tall. Oh, yeah. And they'll do that one more time. Back off. Press arms and legs into each other. Sit up tall. Good. Okay. Release that. Next, we'll come into Baddha Konasana, and if you have a block available, grab it. We won't use it yet, but just so it's ready. And here too, if you need to sit on something to make your pelvis higher, that's fine. So just come into your rendition of the pose. We're going to check it out. We'll do some stuff, and then we'll recheck. So here we are in the position. Press down into the floor. And notice if you're rocking back on the pelvis, you might do better if the legs are a little further forward. So you want to be right on the sitting bones here. Yeah. Now in this position, in kind of a similar way to some of our other poses, don't really do it, but try to pull the feet away from each other and think of from the outer knee to the outer hip plugging in. The inner groin to the inner knee, reaching out. Yeah, it works here too. All right, back off. If you have a block, set it up on the narrow setting in between your feet. If you don't have a block, you can just bring your feet a little bit apart, or you can put your hands in there so you have something against the feet. If your hands are not here, take them behind you, sit up tall. Now don't really do it, but try to pull your feet away from the block. Find from the outer knee to the outer hip plugging back in. Yeah. Now try this. Bring the pinky toe more towards the floor and see if you can lift the block a little with your heels. And you might find ever so slightly a little more external rotation when you do that. Yeah. Okay, back off, one more spot. We're gonna now move the block wider. You could go, I'm gonna go this level. If you wanted to go really wide, you could. And then one more time, press down to lift up. Try to pull the feet a little away from the block. From the outer knee to the outer hip, plug in. Yeah. Then if you want to try to lift the heels, you can. Okay. Yeah. And then release. Let's take the block out, and before we come out of the pose entirely, come back to the first position with the feet together, and you might find that it's a little easier, just a little more open. Yeah, cool. Now, let's use the hands to bring the legs back up. Take another round of this. Press legs and arms into each other. Sit up tall. Just a little reset. Do that 2 more times. Back off, and then press and lift. Yeah. Okay, back off. Do it once again. Okay, so here I think we're ready for our attempt at Parivrtta Janushirshasana. I'll suggest a strap if you have one, and I'll mirror you. So take your right leg out like Upavishta Konasana, pull the left leg in like Baddha Konasana, and then at first just press down and sit up. Yeah, all right. So let's take a twist towards the bent knee, towards your left. Go ahead and go that direction. Yeah. Now in a moment, we will take your right arm to the right, and it's okay if the left sitting bone comes up. Just want to mention that. All right. Now from here, start to bring your torso forward and reach the right arm forward. And then sweep your right arm towards the right leg. Maybe you hold the foot, the ankle, whatever you've got. Then take your free hand. Can you turn the chest towards the ceiling? And then take your left arm up and over towards the right foot. I totally forgot about the strap. That's okay, we'll do it again. Once again, can you turn the chest towards the ceiling as you reach the left arm towards the right foot? All right, that's the pose. Let's come back up. Side 2. We'll go straight into it here. Draw the right leg in, take the left leg wide. And at first, just sit here. Press down to lift up. Then turn your chest towards the bent knee. Find this rotation. Then you'll take the front arm, you'll sweep it forward and around towards the left foot. Take the right hand to the ribs, spin, and then lift, and come over. The more you come over, the more the chest will turn down. So again, turn up. Okay. And then up we come. Let's take a Dandasana before we go again. So come back to center, both legs long. Reach out through your heels, press down through the fingertips. Tone your abdomen. You could stay down or you could come up. If you come up though and then you end up collapsing down, keep your hands down for a little support. Yeah. All right. And then release your arms. If you'd like to do this next round with the strap, I'll suggest that. If you were able to grab the foot, then you won't need the strap. Take your right leg wide, bring the left leg in, and let's just lasso the foot and have the strap available. And we'll enter the same way. Press down to lift up, turn towards the bent knee, find a rotation, and then take the front arm, first reach it forward and out towards the right foot. Yeah. Then bring the left, let's do the belly spin. Take the left arm up and over. And from here, if you'd like, you can grab the strap, and then it gives you something to give a little tug and get a little more length on the side body. Yeah. And you turn towards the ceiling. Oh. Okay. That's enough. Out we come. Let's change sides. This is our last round of this pose. Totally not a beginner's pose. This is a beginner's class, but hey, Here we are. All right, so once you're in position, press down to lift up. Turn towards the bent knee. That's it. And then bring the front arm forward, sweep it around, find your foot or the strap or your ankle, and then find the belly spin. Take the right arm out and up. You can stay there, or you can feed yourself the strap, and then maybe use the strap to give a little tug. Don't pull hard, just a little bit, and turn your chest towards the ceiling. Yeah. Oh. Okay, that's enough. Back we come to center. You guys, release the strap, put the props away. Take both legs out in front. Let's give ourselves a little jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. And then just as a counterpose, something symmetrical after those other positions. Go back to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And if it would feel good to take a wider stance, go ahead and add that in. Bend the knees. Press the mat down and forward. Press down the ball of the big toe, widen your upper thighs. Keep that length in the legs. Stretch the outer knee long before the inner knee. Reach down through the backs of the heels. Okay. And then from here, let's lower back down to child's pose. Knees to the floor. Stay there. Turn your palms to face up. Give yourself any extra little finger wiggle, shift, whatever feels good. Yeah. And then we'll come down onto your back. And all of those poses, we were in hip flexion. So it might feel good for hip extension. I'll give a few possibilities. You could do some windshield wipers. You could do some bridge, a bridge or a couple of bridges. So take a moment just for yourself, whatever you need to do. And then in a moment, we'll start to head into Shavasana. And before we do, it might feel good just to press the hands into the legs, clear out some space. I'm going to turn out some of these lights as you guys settle in, but I locked them in the light switch in the closet, so I need to go get it. And as you settle in here, just give your body a moment to land. Today's class required a fair amount of mental attention. See if you can relax your brain. Relax your eyes, the muscles around your eyes, space between your eyebrows. Take a deeper, fuller breath. And start to bring any kind of movement into your body. When you're ready, you can bend your knees and roll over to one side. And take your time to come upright to sit. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Namaste, yogis.